Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am excited today to be interviewing one of our favorite Scalable Law clients who has done exceptionally well in her criminal law firm. When she started the accelerator program, she was feeling a bit trapped in the business, and now, only a really short time later, she is off the tools and running the business like she is the CEO of her law firm, which is exactly where I want all of my clients to be. And she has got so much time that she has actually now created another business to support law firms, which I'm so excited to share with you. So without further ado, I would love to introduce you to Amy Soong of Ashworth Lawyers.
Yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, Amy. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Carolee, for inviting me.
You're welcome. So let's get stuck in to your journey as a law firm owner and when you started your firm, where you're located, what you guys offer. And I'd just love to hear about how you ended up in your own practice.
Yes. So I've been a criminal defence lawyer in Queensland for about 17, 18 years now. I've only ever practiced in criminal defence. From when I graduated, I worked at a larger criminal defence law firm in Brisbane City. At about 6 years in, I started my own firm, Ashworth Lawyers. And so I had it now for about 11, going on to 12 years now. So we're a small team based in Brisbane City, but we service anywhere around Queensland. I have a team of about 6 of us. We focus on serious offences anywhere around Queensland. So we're in courts almost daily, in the criminal courts all across Queensland.
Yeah, wow. And so one of the things, like when you first came into my world and joined Accelerator, one of the things, is that, and I've got other criminal law firms in my program as well, and it can be really hard to get off the tools as a criminal lawyer because it's so, heavy in court and the type of clients you're dealing with, and, you've built up an incredible reputation as an expert in the criminal law field. So how has that been for you, moving away from being on the tools to growing your team and creating a firm that's not 100% reliant on you?
Yes, that is something that I've struggled a lot over the years, similar to many other law firm owners. The first couple of years when I started my practice, I was definitely on the tools. I was having carriage of all of the files myself. It was later on when I had my first baby and then my second baby. Definitely after the second, I was sort of forced off the tools. I really had to learn to delegate better and create a team for myself rather than doing it all by myself. So that's sort of when it started. And the only way to really not have carriage of any files and manage a team, for me, was to hire very experienced lawyers or work with very experienced lawyers, very senior lawyers. So I'm very lucky to have a very good team around me. Our lawyers, senior lawyers, have 10, 15 years experience, and so really they are more than enough qualified to handle all of our cases by themselves. But I am very actively involved in working with them as a team, and part of all of the discussing with them strategy, management of clients, direction of files, and all of that as well together. So we work really well as a team, and I'm very lucky to have a good group of lawyers around me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so what's it been like for you stepping out of being the solo practitioner and lawyer to being a leader of lawyers? What sort of, challenges have you found around that?
I think it is initially letting go and trusting your team, but that you move past that quite quickly when you know your team, when you work well with your team. And then it's really just managing client expectations about who's working on your file and how involved you will be, particularly if they were from referral sources or they call specifically for you. But again, that's really comes from the first phone call. And when they meet your team, they meet your senior lawyers, that again comes quite easily once they have that connection and confidence in them. So again, that's we've been able to move past all of that quite well, and now it flows quite smoothly through the office.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a question that I get all the time is, how do you stop clients from wanting to come to you as the principal or as the one who's also potentially doing the initial appointments, to being comfortable with being, helped by one of your lawyers in your team? So in your team, do you have any junior lawyers, or are you just hiring more senior people?
So David and Jessica are our senior lawyers. We do have a junior lawyer, Paris, or second year. Paris is very helpful, and she predominantly helps David and Jess with the matters. But through our office, the files have the lawyers with carriage are predominantly Jess and David at this point. And then we have a team of administrative help as well.
Yeah, awesome. So just before we hopped on the call, you said, or the podcast, you said it's amazing how much can change in sort of 12, 24 months. And you were telling me the first time that you sort of came in contact with anything that we do at Scalable Law, which is you came along to our very first Law BizCon. You said you didn't know what it was about. I probably didn't know much what it was about either, running it for the first time. But it was a great conference. So talk me through, what it's been like sort of coming into that sort of network of a whole lot of other lawyers.
Yes, and there's been a lot that I've learned over the last year and a half, and a lot of people I've met. I think I originally came across you from your podcast because you spoke a lot about scaling your business, getting off the tools, but still managing a very high functioning quality team, and being able to still produce very good quality output within your firm, even though you're not on the tools. So as I was listening to your podcast, a lot of what you were talking about was work that I was already trying to implement. And so all of those topics really resonated with me. And then at some point leading up to Law BizCon, I think it was only a week out, I received a discount code from Ben Deverson of Lawganized to your Law BizCon. And at the time, I didn't really know too much about it. I haven't come across it before, but I took a look and thought it was quite on point to what I was working on. So I signed up in the first year. I didn't know anyone, but I really enjoyed the conference and I met so many people. And so the second year coming back, I actually felt like I knew, more than half the room. Everyone was a friend. And so it's really grown into a very strong network for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And earlier in your practice, do you think you were missing that from being because running your own law firm can be quite a lonely sort of journey. And sometimes it can be hard, particularly like in our own geographical location. It can be hard to connect with other lawyers because we're all so combative, and it's sort of like, it's not necessarily easy to have transparency or meet people who talk about their business openly. So was that something you had previously, or is that really something that's grown for you since you've come to Law BizCon the first time?
Yes, it's definitely grown. I don't think I felt like I lacked it because I've always been fortunate enough to have a good network or group of people around me, but it did make me realize there's just so much more out there. I could or people I could talk to, people I could learn from. So it's definitely expanded my network.
Yeah, that's awesome. So in the last 18 months, you've been working really hard on getting lots of processes and systems in place so that you can have the goal of not being as needed in the business. And would you say that you've been able to do that fairly successfully?
Yes, I think so. I'm definitely, the team are quite self-sufficient in the day-to-day running of the firm. Of course, I'm still very involved, but in a different level or in a different way where it's more managerial or more of a strategic oversight. And I think that's really, most of that's really transformed in the last 18 months or so while I've been with Scalable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so you told me a few months back that you've had so much time to do other projects. And one of the things that I think you and I are quite similar is that you let go of, you're not doing as much over here, but now you're bored. So you're looking for a new, amazing, exciting project to do because you've got that real entrepreneurial spirit in you. And so you've created another business, which you're about to launch. And I'm really excited about it. Do you want to tell us about that?
Yes. So I wouldn't say I'm bored because it's always just so busy, but definitely it's given me space to think about things beyond the law firm itself, which I still am very involved in and I very much enjoy, but it gives me opportunities in other spaces as well. So I've used a bit of time to build a platform called Advisent. And so the idea is it's a way for clients to find and book the best lawyers in Australia. So what we differentiate ourselves as it, we're not a directory, but it's more of a network of qualified lawyers in each state or territory in Australia. A couple of benefits, but some of the main benefits, for example, for lawyers, it's free to upload a profile. There's no marketing cost as such. Profile stays there, and only if and when someone books a first consultation with the lawyer, then a platform fee is paid, which is half of the initial consultation. But of course, if the lawyer retains the client moving forward, then they keep all fees. So that's kind of the gist of what the platform does. And it's been ready for a little while, but I'm quite excited to launch it or introduce it through your podcast today.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really excited about it because we talk a lot about marketing and, because if you need to scale your business or want to scale your business, you need to have a constant healthy flow of quality clients. And it's not necessarily one source that you're going to get that from, right? And so the more you can, as a law firm owner, have your firm out there ready to receive clients, the better it's going to be. So this is awesome because it's giving law firms an opportunity to put their brand out there and their expertise out there on a optimized platform. It's super, super exciting. So if you were a law firm owner and you were looking for other ways to market your firm, how much work is it to get onto your platform?
Yeah, so we've made it as simple as possible for clients, but also lawyers. So there are other platforms out there, but other platforms generally require lawyers to pay an upfront fee or a subscription fee, or for lawyers to pay per contact to clients. But I've found the problem with that is because clients aren't paying a fee, you're not really attracting quality leads or clients who are necessarily ready to engage. So the idea of Advisent is to flip it around and to have clients deposit the initial consultation fee upon booking, which the idea is to attract serious clients. So you may get less clients coming through in this method, but the idea is clients who do come through are ready to work with a lawyer. So we have website www.advisent.com.au. There's a sign up page there where the lawyer can just list some of their basic details, such as years of experience, their practice areas and their location. So there's no setup fee. It's free to join. And then when that is filled in, that's sent through to the platform, and we usually have about a 2 or so day turnaround where we check or verify the lawyer's information, including that they are registered in their state and their experience and reputation as well. Because we're not a directory, we're trying to build a network of only the most experienced lawyers in practice areas and locations around Australia. So that's why we have that verification before lawyers are approved. Once approved, the lawyer sets up a description on their profile, uploads a photograph, and then they're ready for clients to start.
That is so awesome.
Them.
So do they set their price for their initial consultation fee, or is that set by the platform?
No, the lawyers choose what fee the initial consultation is. We suggest no less than $330, so we suggest somewhere between $300 to $600 for the initial consultation, but it's really up to the lawyer to set their fee on their profile. So that fee is for the initial consultation. So the consultation may take half an hour or may take an hour. So that's fluid depending on the type of matter. Yes, that is set by the lawyer. And then in that conversation, of course, if the client's issue may be resolved, or if it's not resolved, then the lawyer can discuss a fee arrangement or a retainer moving forward. And of course, the lawyer retains that retainer going forward, and the only payment fee is half of the first consultation to the platform.
Yeah, that's awesome, because there's other platforms out there, right? But then they want to also take a percentage of the ongoing fees, retainer fees. So this is just half of the initial consultation fee, and that's it.
That's right. So of course, if the initial consultation is $440, then you would pay the platform $220, and the lawyers pay $220, but that's it. And if the client engages, then they keep that moving forward.
And when you're looking at return on investment, we spend a lot of time on, say, Google Ads, and in my firm, it cost about $500 to retain someone through Google Ads. This is actually really affordable. And the return on investment is way better than what you're going to get out of a Google Ads. I'm not saying you shouldn't do Google Ads, because you absolutely should do all sorts of different marketing, but this is definitely a really good, no risk, great return on investment way and strategy of getting clients.
That's the idea. And I think a lot of us have experienced the difficulty with acquisition costs of a file, or even just a cost per lead can be a couple of $100 with no guarantee of the quality of the lead. So this method tries to make it as risk-free or frictionless as possible for lawyers to use the website, and also for clients and the benefit for clients is when they're booking a lawyer, they know they're only searching through verified, experienced, quality network of lawyers in Australia. And we're not a generalist database of other professional services or other services in general. It's just for lawyers and just for lawyers in Australia.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we all know as well that when you've got a client who is prepared to pay for that initial appointment, they are going to be a better quality client who's likely to retain and be ready to go, rather than a tire kicker who's just out there looking for some free advice.
Yes, and I think that's been some of the difficulty with the other platforms, where clients can just submit a query and wait for lawyers to respond, and not have any output or commitment themselves. So this is why this platform reverses the engagement process.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what made you think about doing this, Amy? Because I'm a little bit like you. I'm always dreaming up new ideas and things that I could do. And this is just such a great idea. So where did you what kind of brewed this idea in you?
I think I've always just been interested about how online platforms generally work, and the idea behind it. I'm not sure how, but I came across a book about 2 years ago on online platforms and marketplaces, and just explained a little bit more about how they work and function. And I just found it interesting. And because of that gap I felt between for clients being able to find and book experienced lawyers and lawyers trying to find ready to engage clients, the idea was to kind of bridge that gap. And not only that problem for lawyers to find ready to engage clients, but a couple of like non-lawyers have mentioned to me how difficult it is to find a lawyer. They don't really know where to start unless you know a lawyer friend who can point you in the right direction. There's really not too much out there where you can trust or find a network where it's not like booking.com.
Yes,
where you can go in and find. So there's there might be none really for lawyers specifically in Australia. So the idea is to fill that gap.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what we know about SEO as well, when you're running your own law firm website, is that the more backlinks that you can get to your website, which is another website linking you, so that could be a platform like this or directories or other things, the more of those you can have, the more authority Google gives you. So even if you signed up but you didn't actually get clients through there necessarily straight away, it would still be of benefit to sign up because you've got a backlink going from that website to your law firm's website, right?
That's right. And that's definitely a benefit I wanted to share with other lawyers out there. If anything, it will give them an extra online profile to help with reputation and SEO and the like.
Yeah, 100%. And so it's interesting because even when I'm having conversations with lawyers who want to join Scalable Law, I'll look them up before I have a conversation with them. And there are still so many law firm owners out there and lawyers out there who don't have a good online presence. And a really simple way of creating a great online presence is, for example, signing up to this platform.
Yes, and it's definitely something that takes time. And again, lawyers or law firm owners who are practicing as well as managing a business, it's very, very difficult.
Yes.
To dedicate any time to marketing.
Yes. Well, you have been there, haven't you, yourself?
Yes. Yes.
And have you, as part of, you being a law firm owner, you're wearing lots of hats, and the marketing side of your law firm and running it, is that something that you've become like more fond of as the years have gone on, as you've learnt more?
I've definitely learned a lot more about marketing or reputation and finding the right clients, identifying the right client, targeting the right client, being able to brand your business to attract clients who would suit your firm. So all of that, I've definitely, I felt like I was aware of this beforehand, but being aware of it to actually doing it or implementing it is quite different. So I've definitely come further along with all of that in the last 18 or so months.
Yeah, that's awesome. And having that, one of the big stresses in law firms, particularly when you're a newer law firm, is that cash flow forecasting, not really sure where the next client's going to come from. And if you're only relying on a handful of referrals, it can feel quite higgledy-piggledy in terms of, you might get one new client this week and then you might have a bit of a dry patch and then you might only get a couple more towards the end of the month. Whereas if you've got lots of different things happening, including being signed up to your platform, for example, it just means that you've got a lot more opportunity of being known and a lot more opportunity to create that free flow of clients. And therefore, then the stress is alleviated because you just know you're going to get that constant quality flow, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and that's not something, the referrals are always great because, of course, the quality of clients coming from a trusted source is much better than a cold lead. But like anything these days, firms, there's higher competition. Everyone's a bit more aggressive with their marketing. So it's really not an option just to either stick with referrals or just stick with Google. You really need to do a whole combination. So the idea of this platform is to give lawyers or law firms another avenue to reach out to clients or to attract the right types of clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so we have talked a lot about lawyers versus and maybe, so I just want to ask the question, if you were a lawyer working for a firm, could you put your own profile up on the platform, or is it more just for law firms themselves?
The platform Advisent can be for any lawyer to use as well. It doesn't need to be specific for a law firm. So if your firm has 5 lawyers, each lawyer can sign up to a different profile and be available for clients to book them.
That's awesome. That's great. So perfect for anyone who might be thinking about going out on their own in the future to start creating their own online profile, or an employed solicitor, or the firm itself.
That's right. That's right. So what we're looking for is experience. The lawyers need to be a minimum of 3 years experienced in their practice area. We're looking for people who are committed to providing quality advice to clients. And of course, you need to be insured and also holding a practicing certificate in your state or territory. So a list of those questions will be on the sign-up form. So there's about 6 or so questions there. Once that's submitted, we have a look through and then we approve it within about 2 days or so.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if anyone wants to sign up, how do they go about finding you and signing up to this platform?
So they can go to our website, which is live now, advisent.com.au. We're also setting up our LinkedIn and Instagram page, which can be followed very soon. We're also looking for anyone who might be interested in contributing to blog posts on the page as well in their practice areas. So they can submit interest through our website or through our email, hello@advisent.com.au.
That's awesome. Such a good opportunity there as well. So what we'll do as well is we'll link it in the show notes and on our website so that you can just hop down to the show notes underneath the podcast and find the link there and go straight over and register yourself today. So it sounds to me, Amy, like you're going to have a awesome 2026 ahead with a new business underway, your firm tracking along really nicely while you're being the leader and CEO of the firm. And what about personally? Is there anything exciting happening for you in 2026?
My little girl goes to prep, and so when it's my second, so we're kind of over the kindy stage, and so they both will now be in primary school. So I think I've like any working parent, you always feel that little bit of guilt, but I have been spending more time with them over the last year, and I hope to be able to continue to do that before they grow up too quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's such a milestone, isn't it, getting 2 kids off to school and your kindy days are behind you. So that's really exciting.
It is, but hard to let go at the same time. My husband tells me I need to sell the pram, but it's not something I can let go yet. Physically doesn't really fit in it anymore, but not quite ready to let it go yet, but soon.
So you've got an exciting year ahead. Well, thank you so much for being part of my world in scalable law. It's awesome having you in there and watching you grow your firm and just become like the business owner and leader that you are. And also it's awesome seeing you create new businesses and projects as well. And I'm super excited for everyone to get on board the new platform and to see where that goes in the next 12 months.
Thank you. Thank you, Carolee. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.